He truly was an amazing man, and I was proud to just be his wife, that he chose me, you know?
Like, I can really go on and on. This guy was Superman.
Keith Mackey, a man known for putting his community first, spreading laughter, love, and light to the people around him.
He's funny, he's loving, he's gonna make you believe that everything is okay, but behind our doors, my husband was struggling, and it was heartbreaking to help him.
Keith filed a lawsuit claiming it all began when he met Shakur Muhammad Johnson, and the two entered into a business agreement in 2023. Lawsuits state Johnson was working as a contracted employee for USPS in Summerville, an independent contractor who helps deliver and collect mail on specific routes. Plaintiffs in the suit claim Johnson approached USPS employees and nearby investors with a business proposition: sign a contract, help fund his business by adding more routes, drivers, and resources to his already existing agreement with USPS, and investors would get a percentage of the profits. Felicia's husband was one of Johnson's investors and says, according to a lawsuit, put over $300,000 into Johnson's hands, which she says they never saw again.
My husband he felt defeated because he did all that he could. He was in a rough place mentally, he was. Nobody saw that because he's going to be Keith.
Keith took his own life in March of this year, leaving his already financially devastated family broken. His lawsuit dismissed.
I just miss him. I don't know.
And Johnson, they say, vanished, along with the $300,000 Keith invested in good faith.
He ruined my family. He did. He has to pay for what he did.
I want to try to prevent this from another family feeling this way.
Now, Keith is not the only person who put their trust and money into Johnson's hands. 4 other lawsuits have been filed against Johnson in Charleston, Berkeley, and Dorchester counties, alleging he left more hard-working people out thousands. 1 was settled, 2 received judgments, and 1 is still pending.
You have no right to ask people for this amount of money when you're operating at this level. You don't know what to do with it.
Latasha Drayton's husband also sued Johnson after he invested around $360,000 into Johnson's business, and their investment return, like Johnson, is nowhere to be seen.
It affected our lives. You know, when you invest into a business, my husband invested in this business in good faith. It affected our household.
Based on the filed lawsuits, Johnson allegedly owes at least $800,000 to Postal Service employees and investors in the Low Country. USPS employees we spoke with say they have not yet filed lawsuits due to their employment, adding the total that Johnson owes to potentially over $1 million.
He has to be stopped. We only know just that much in our little research. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure it's more.
Johnson not only faces legal action here in South Carolina, a New York company claims it's out over $25,000 from Johnson's failed financing. He also has a criminal record. In 2021, Johnson pled guilty to grand theft for stealing thousands from a YMCA in Florida.
He's hurt a lot of families, and he needs to be brought to justice.
Who knows? He could be in other states right now working for a post office.
USPS's website states any contractor must receive security clearance and undergo background screening before being hired. Given his criminal history, Johnson's victims are now asking the question, how was he allowed to be hired by the United States Postal Service in the first place? We asked the Postal Service just that, but have not heard anything back.
He used the U.S. Postal Service to manipulate and defraud my husband and lots of other people.
Honestly, just getting justice. Like, pretty much, I don't want a family to feel like how we feeling right now.
But what justice is even possible in this case when Johnson has missed court dates and cut off communication with those he owes?
Yes, people thought they were investing and didn't get, what they expected to get for that investment. But it's also theft, right? If the person did not intend to actually deliver on the promises made in exchange for that money, that is a potentially criminal component.
Attorney Roy Wiley specializes in class action lawsuits and says, unfortunately, when someone is unable to be served, sometimes the next best option is taking criminal action.
In a criminal direction, you can get restitution. That is actually way more collectible because the person has to pay into that to avoid going back to prison.
For now, those who Johnson owes have to wait and cross their fingers for their hard-earned money to someday be returned. But for the Mackeys, they're left out far more than just an empty bank account.
Keeping my father's legacy going and just bringing this guy to justice, because it really put a missing piece in our family, honestly.
This is the worst experience I've ever had in my entire life. And because Keith was so amazing, I want justice. That is my goal, that is my mission, my objective.
For Live 5 Investigates, I'm Emily Johnson.
Our team says Shakur Johnson was contacted at both phone numbers that were publicly available, with each phone call being disconnected or out of service.